Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're not just going to listen to some music, we're going to get our hands dirty and figure out what makes it tick. We're going to uncover the secret recipe for jazz, one of the coolest and most creative kinds of music on the entire planet. So let's jump right in.
You know that feeling, that energy, that surprise, where it sounds like the musicians are having a conversation right in front of you? Well, that is the magic of jazz. It's a style of music born right here in the United States from a blend of different cultures and sounds, and its number one ingredient is, you guessed it, freedom.
So what is the secret recipe? If we were to pop the hood on a great jazz song, we'd find 3 essential ingredients that you just can't do without. They give it that special flavor. Let's break them down.
Okay, first up, and this is the big one, improvisation. This is the absolute heart and soul of jazz. It means the musicians aren't just playing notes that are written down on a page. Nope. They are creating melodies in real time, right there on the spot, reacting to each other and the vibe in the room.
This is the perfect way to think about it. It's a call and response. One musician plays a little musical idea, that's the call, and another one instantly plays something back, the response. It's the spontaneous back and forth using notes instead of words. And that's exactly why no 2 jazz shows are ever the same.
All right, our second secret ingredient is a cool-sounding word, syncopation. Now, most music you hear has a really steady beat, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, syncopation messes with that. It puts the accents in unexpected places, on the ands between the beats. That's what gives jazz that infectious, surprising, and totally danceable rhythm.
Yeah, that's a great way to picture it. The main beat is always there, you can still feel it, but the syncopated parts are dancing all around it, kind of popping out when you least expect them. It creates this awesome push and pull that just makes you want to move.
And for our final ingredient, we have blue notes. These are the notes that give jazz all its feeling and soul. They're notes that are played or sung just a tiny bit flatter than you might expect on a normal piano scale. That little bend in the note injects this really deep, rich emotion into the sound, and it connects jazz right back to its roots in the blues.
So, we have our ingredients. But what holds everything together? That would be the rhythm section. This is the foundation, the engine room. Really, it's the heartbeat of every single jazz band.
So, this is your typical crew. You've got the bass, laying down the harmony and that steady, walking pulse. The piano, where guitar adds all the chords and the color. And the drums, they lock everything together with the bass to create that signature rhythmic feel that we call swing. So how do you actually feel that swing? It's pretty simple, actually. First, just try to listen for the bass. You'll hear it walking, just a steady pulse. Then, listen to what the drummer is doing, usually on a big cymbal. You'll hear this classic da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da pattern. It's not even, it's more like long, short, long, short. That creates a bounce. That is the feeling of swing.
So once that rhythm foundation is solid, the other instruments get to step out into the spotlight. They use that steady ground to build their own improvised stories.
And these are your lead storytellers. Each one of these instruments has its own unique personality, right? You've got a fiery trumpet, a super smooth saxophone, maybe a playful clarinet. They're all distinct voices that take turns leading that musical conversation we were talking about.
And this is what really separates the good players from the truly great ones. Improvising isn't just about playing a bunch of random notes really fast. The best solos tell a story. They have a beginning, a middle, and an end. They build up excitement, they bring it back down, they take you on a little journey, all completely made up in the moment.
Of course, like any great recipe, the one for jazz has been changed and tweaked over the last 100 years or so. Different musicians have decided to feature different ingredients, creating a whole menu of different jazz styles.
So the whole journey really gets going in the 30s with the big band swing era, which was all about dancing. Then in the 40s, things got super fast and complex with bebop. That was music for intense listening. The 50s kind of cooled things down with, well, cool jazz. And by the 70s, jazz was mixing with rock music to create fusion. Every style took those same core ingredients and made something totally new.
This slide shows just how huge the change was from swing to bebop. Swing was the pop music of its day, played by these massive orchestras in huge dance halls. But some of the musicians wanted more creative freedom. So they went into these small, smoky clubs and invented bebop, a style so fast and complicated you just had to sit down and be amazed. It was a total revolution. And this whole evolution was driven by these incredible individuals, musical geniuses, who didn't just play the music, they completely defined it. Let's meet a couple of these master chefs.
You literally cannot talk about jazz without talking about Louis Armstrong.
Before him, jazz was mostly a group thing, but he was one of the first to step out front and play these jaw-dropping, creative solos that put all the focus on the individual improviser. He showed everybody the power of a single musical voice.
I mean, his impact was just massive. It wasn't only what he played, but how he played it. His sense of rhythm was so powerful and catchy that he completely changed how all musicians thought about rhythm. You could honestly say he is the definition of swing.
And then you had Charlie Parker, also known as Bird. If Louis Armstrong gave jazz its swing, Charlie Parker gave it wings. He was a main architect of that bebop revolution, playing at lightning speed with this unbelievable understanding of chords and harmony that just blew the doors off what people thought was possible on a saxophone.
That visual really gets to the heart of it. Listening to a Charlie Parker solo is like hearing someone speaking a really complex language at unbelievable speed, but every single word is perfect. He took improvisation to this whole other level of genius.
So, we've seen where jazz comes from, what it's made of, and who the legends are. But you know, the most exciting thing about jazz is that its story is not over. The future of this music is being written right now.
Jazz has never been a style that stands still. Today's musicians are taking those core ingredients, improvisation, syncopation, blue notes, and they're mixing them with all kinds of modern sounds. They're blending them with hip-hop beats, electronic sounds, and musical traditions from all over the globe, which keeps this art form alive and constantly changing.
So, if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that jazz isn't some old thing in a museum. It's a living, breathing conversation that's been going on for more than 100 years. Every new musician and every person who really listens becomes a part of that conversation. So the only question left is, what new ideas, what new feelings, what will you add to it?